Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rick Godley. I find myself in Minden, Louisiana, the home of the Latte Kaffe with the proprietor, Mr. Mike Carr. Mike Carr, also known as Michael Carr, when he was recording back in the 80s there with his cowboy boots. And we were,
Yeah, and no wrinkles.
and wrinkles as well. So, Mike, man, I appreciate you taking the time and visiting with us here.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
All right, so let's when I first started on the queue and Bill Brown was telling me about Mike and his association relationship with music in more than just listening to and appreciating, but actually songwriting.
Yes.
Take us back to your first time you even wrote a song, not a hit song, but where did that come from for you to want to write?
Well, I went to school with Joe Stanford out in Spring Hill, and I run around with him, and he'd stay all night with me, and I'd stay all night with him. And his mother was a fantastic cook. Man, every time I went over, I was hungry, and she'd feed us. Joe, he played the piano by ear, even back when we were in the 9th, 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And we would make up songs, some silly songs, and then some songs we thought, that we liked, and we would write songs as he played the piano. And that's when I first started wanting to write. You got to really want to write to not give up on a song. The worst thing you can do is think of a good title and a good melody and get in the middle of it and give up on it and not finish it. And I was bad about that at first, about starting a song off and not completing it. And I missed out on, I think, a lot of songs that I didn't
What you're
complete.
describing is it's a big difference between inspiration or an initiative and finishative.
Yes.
So you
That initiative is what will get you.
Well, but I mean, let this be a lesson to somebody else out there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, sitting down to write, you got to have intention. And then you know as well as I, you keep talking about me and the voices in my head. You got them in your head that said, you don't want to write, you don't want to write. And finally you said, you're right, and you walked away from it.
That's it. That is it. You got to keep a positive attitude about that song and just get overwhelmed about it. And when you are, you'll complete it. You will complete it. You Are My Soul started out, You Are My Soul, and it became You Are My Soul song. And that song was created in church.
Where?
And down in Minden, Louisiana.
Minden, Louisiana.
And the preacher was talking about the soul, and I thought, my goodness, it's everlasting. It's for eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady I was going with at that time was Miss Sabine Parrish, and her mother said, Mike, if you intend on going with my daughter, you're going to have to go to church. I said, okay. So Sunday I went over there and I was ready, and we went to church. Well, we got out there a little late and sat in the back of the church, and the church was full. It was way out in the country, and that church was packed. Well, the preacher looked like he was looking at me, of course, they always do. But he was talking about the soul, have you got your soul saved? And I had never really been to church a whole lot. And but I did know this. I couldn't write a song called Mona. That was my girlfriend's name at that time, was Mona Jane. And so she was wanting me to write a song about her because she knew I had wrote Don't Be a Fool on the All These Things album of Joe's. And so she thought, well, write a song about me. I said, here's the song. There's nothing more important in the world than your soul. So to combine you with the soul, your soul, is best I can do. So we went home, out of church, went home and started writing on it. Then about, I don't know, I didn't complete it then at the time, but in a few months I did get to complete it most of the way. Most all the song was completed. And Joe called me and said he needed some songs. He was going to Nashville and he was going to try to get on this album, this record label.
Mm-hmm.
And so he called me and he said, I need about 3 or 4 songs, Mike. I said, okay, I got 3. So I came up here to Spring Hill from Manny, and it was ice all over the road and trees all down.
What year? We're talking early 60s, mid 60s?
Early 60s. That was 62, 63, I think, somewhere like that. And so I gave it to him, and then he called me back, and about 2 or 3 months after then, and that was the deal on if I give up the writership of the song.
So we're talking about "You Are My Soul" song. This is Mike Carr. He is the penmanship. Matter of fact, you got inspired at a place of inspiration. Pretty neat.
Yes.
One question that pops into my head first is, did the songwriting process last longer than the relationship with Mona?
It lasted lots longer, way longer.
What?
She passed away.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
back then?
Well, no, it was after then.
I got you.
But she never did get to hear the song come out when it came out.
So 3 songs that Joe called "You Are My Soul" song, and Mike had briefed me earlier that the industry or the record company probably knew this would be a hit, but they wouldn't let Joe record it unless he gave away the song credits, which would be you. Take us through that story.
Well, Joe called me and said that he needed a favor. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, I need you to give me the writership on that "You Are My Soul," our soul song. And I said, what for? I said, no, man. And he said, well, if you do that, Mike, he said, I'll give you writership on all these other songs when we bring them out on the album. I said, well, okay, all right, I'll do that. And he said, because if you don't, I won't be able to get this record label. He said, I need that label. I said, okay, then I'll give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
But they never did bring out those other songs. But now he has come by and visited me here in the restaurant since then, and we are, I guess, on a good relationship now. I don't know.
We'll see when he comes back. By the way, we're at Latte Kaffe in Minden, Louisiana. You want to stop by here? Give the folks a brief on hours of operation and specialties, and then we'll come back to some more music talk.
Yeah, well, our hours here are from 7 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, 7 days a week, 15 hours a day.
So you only work half a day. Literally.
And I get to go home and sleep at night.
And do it again tomorrow.
And do it again, the same thing the next day.
But we're talking breakfast, lunch. I mean, they're the Crawfish King.
Yeah, we do.
Well. And,
how you doing?
He's greeting customers as we speak.
All right.
How are you? All right. Well, you said it's one of the largest menus in Louisiana.
Well, in North Louisiana. North Louisiana. I won't go that far.
Yeah, folks can find the menu online at the Facebook page. Is that the way to go?
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Well, do you want to keep talking, or? I mean,
well, we can talk about "Don't Be a Fool" is on the All These Things album.
All right. Well, let's do that now. My question, dial it back a little bit. Knowing the backstory of "You Are My Soul" song, it still has to give you some kind of satisfaction.
It does.
That you're riding down the road and you birthed that. It's not like you had a piece of it. So.
And I felt like the Lord had His hand on me when we did that in the church that day.
Well, it does say deep calls to deep at the sound of your waterfalls. And where I take from that scripture is, in my profession of a radio, unless you have a person on the other side of that microphone talking to a person, you can have this artificial intelligence, but I'm telling you, deep calls to deep. The soul and the spirit can hear the soul and the spirit.
I believe that.
That's okay.
I believe that.
That's just my little hippy trippy twist on it. But well, good for you. All right. Yeah. So what's the next song? You said "The Fool."
The Fool I Am. No.
Oh, is that because you gave away the rights? Is that the inspiration?
"Don't Be a Fool" was, well, I couldn't sing at that age. I was only 19, I think it was. I couldn't seem to get a woman that would trust me, and I understand now why.
Why, you don't trust yourself?
I don't trust myself.
Right, right.
And so anyway, I just came up with that song, "Don't Be a Fool," and fall in love.
All right,
And
give
so-
us the rest of that story, as Paul Harvey would say.
Well, that story is the fact that Joe put it on the album of all these things, and all these things. So the album sold 250,000 records. Album that was good back then.
That's right.
For an album. And "Don't Be a Fool" was on there, so it was published through Al Gallico Publishing in New York, and they over a period of time they mixed my name up with a guy in England. This is going crazy, but anyway.
So he has a bigger mailbox over
He
there?
has a bigger mailbox, and his name was Michael Ray Carr. And in fact, I called up there and I said, "Well, what happened to my money that's supposed to be on 'Don't Be a Fool'?" She said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Oh, well." I said, "I'm Michael Carr." She said, "Are you in England?" I said, "No, ma'am, I'm in the States." I said, "I'm the one that you sent my money undoubtedly to England." And she said, "Can I call you back?" I said, "Yes, you can." And she did, and she said, "Well, we've sent your royalties over to England to that guy," and said, "We'll get back in touch with you." And that's been at least 20 years ago. And I'm still waiting on the call.
So do we need to find somebody to go and get the heavy lifting and get some of that money over here and balance trade out?
Balance the budget.
To balance the budget.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Mike, let's carry this on another time. It's
Okay.
just the beginning, because it looks like you're getting busy.
Yeah, we're getting busy. I'm lucky to have these folks coming in and
Give them the address. You're right here on the corner. Is it 530?
531 and Highway 80.
Highway 80?
You come off of the interstate. We got a new bridge now out there on the interstate. You
Well,
come in.
they've still got traffic out there too.
Well, that bridge,
Bridge.
they said it was going to take 5 years, but we're only in 2 years now. So
Yeah, okay.
They-
All right,
yeah.
so they'll drag that one out.
yeah.
Latte Kaffe, where'd the name come from?
Well, it came from the coffee. The
That makes
word
sense.
coffee. Latte means coffee.
Right?
So that's somebody else already had a name on the coffee cafe or something like that.
Mhm.
And so I said, well, okay, let's just use that latte coffee name and call it Latte Kaffe.
So when you initially went into the restaurant business, was it as expansive as it is now? I mean, from crawfish to, breakfast to lunches, or was it just a coffee shop? What did you see back then?
No. We started off with having crawfish and the whole thing that we have now.
Oh, really?
Right off.
Good.
Well, some of the things like tacos and things like that, we added on.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of the menu was there 7 years ago when we started.
So this is 7 years old.
Yeah,
All right.
7 years old.
And it is for sale at the right price. Everything should
Yeah,
be.
well, at my age, I think I earned my vacation.
Right. Well, let's cut a deal here now.
Okay.
This sells the place. Well, I don't know what 20% is. No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
all yours.
30%.
30. Keep
Well,
going.
no, I'm like Joe. I'm like Staffley.
Oh.
I may promise you that.
All right, Mr. Mike Carr, thanks for your time today.
I appreciate it, Ricky.
You're welcome.
All right.
You're welcome. Awesome, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Good night.